So in a mixer bowl, I got 1 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. To that, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of whole wheat. We'll be adding a 1/4 cup of dry milk, non-fat milk, a package of yeast. Oop. I need a bigger kitchen, y'all. Some salt, that is a teaspoon of 1/4. We're going to add 2/3 cup of instant mashed potatoes. So in a saucepan, I got a cup of water and a 1/4 cup of butter that I cut up more than 6 pieces. To that, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of orange juice, and we're going to get this hot. I'm going to get it hot enough until that butter melts, or at least until that butter is a little bit softer than it is. And I did this recipe I found in a ad torn out of a magazine. So it is, it's not sponsored, but the magazine was advertising Lucky Leaf Pie and Chinet, I do believe, Chinet and King Arthur flour. Which, they don't sponsor this video, but if they want to sponsor a video, feel free to email me. So, which I don't check it that often. So, it's hot, almost, the butter's about melted. Oops, I was supposed to add honey to our water, butter, orange juice mixture. I did add the honey, 3 tablespoons, and now we're going to beat this at medium high for 2 minutes. I'm going to scrape all that yummy honeyness out of there. It did say that you may need to scrape the sides of the bowl for, and we got to do this for 2 minutes. So the recipe says to now stir in enough remaining whole wheat flour, and it goes to 1 1/2 cup to 2 cups of whole wheat flour to make this a soft dough. Now the recipe says to knead it until it's soft and elastic on a lightly floured board. So we're going to do that. And I'm kneading it on some wheat flour. It said, according to the recipe, it says that the orange juice is not going to provide any flavor. It just cuts down on the wheat flour, since it's a lot of wheat flour in this bread. First time making this, so hopefully it will work. So it does say to let your dough rest after it's kind of soft and elastic. Let it rest for 10 minutes. So, and I know I'm not kneading this for 5 to 7 minutes, but I did knead it a little bit in the electric mixer. So I'm going to let this rest for 10 minutes. So according to the recipe, we're supposed to divide this dough into 12 pieces and put it in a 8 by 8 inch Chinet baking pan. An 8 by 8 inch is not very big, y'all. Not very big. So I'm going to do what I can, and then we're going to put it in there. So, and I did grease my baking pan. Well, I got 16. So I kind of did a little bit more. It did raise perfectly. Now we got to set these aside, and supposedly I got to let them rise and until they're touching each other, which in reality they are touching each other, at least on my end. So now we're going to cover these up and let those rise before we bake. So now that our rolls have risen, we need to bake 15 to 20 minutes at 350 degrees in a preheated oven. They're risen pretty well. So after about 15 minutes, we are supposed to use aluminum foil and tint until they get brown. I am not going to do that because I bake in a toaster oven. But after we did the 15 minutes and then we tint, we cook, we bake for another 10 minutes until they're nice and brown.